It is 8:10 Newstalk Sauga 960 Raw, Mike Richards, and the magic of the Sports Interaction Power Hour, starting with Phil Gray and then collapsing with Stephen Rapp in about 20 minutes or so, where he'll have yet a new hairstyle, and I can only imagine what part of the house he'll be broadcasting from. I hope it's not, it's, as he likes to call it, Daddy's secret movie room. So let's pray that doesn't happen. Otherwise, busy sports unveiling, excitement, and positivity, all these things, which, of course, Phil Gray is known for, and he joins us here this morning. Good morning, Phil.
Hey, good morning, guys. Pandemic? What pandemic?
I'm not seeing it. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't you realize that amazingly, once there was another huge event, it magically disappeared. And right. Everything was okay.
Yeah, everything's fine. Ça va bien, LA.
It's all of us. I was like, well, where'd that whole COVID-19 thing go?
Yeah, I mean, we make light of it, which really shouldn't have been a tragic occurrence over the past few months. I don't think history is going to judge too well on mankind, but certainly yes. We're starting to see everything come back. You know, I walk around now, like I said last week, and it's business as usual.
It's just amazing how much business, and when you see again the noise being made out of NCAA schools, therefore, I mean, and the campuses have to go along with this because, as we all know, you can't play football if your school's not open. So you have big school. I mean, Notre Dame. You know, once
there's been a petition from some of the schools to amend that rule. So.
Well, so they can just play football without the campus being open, you mean?
Yeah. There's also, I mean, it's also, it's an NCAA Division I rule as well that you have to offer 16 sports to be a NCAA Division I school, and there's also been a petition to amend that as well. So I could have been dead wrong on what's going to happen with college sports in the fall.
But you know what? That kind of amendment I can see. Look, trying to circumvent the rules to get football on, even if your school's not open, that's pretty shady, yet not surprising. But to think that there'd be 16 sports, I mean, I think you have to be realistic in a pandemic world and say that, okay, well, maybe we're not going to do swimming or whatever else is out there. But I think for the most part, I mean, they're being very aggressive about it. As you said, I guess post history, we'll find out exactly just how smart or not we were in doing this, but the reality is you're seeing an announcement yesterday from the NHL. They're talking about July the 10th as their phase 3. You've got a June 30th date for the NBA, and I cross my fingers that everything goes well. Look, it's great for all of us, especially for Phil, you and sport, our good friends at Sports Interaction, and we want to see things come back. Obviously, it's for the health of what we do for a living. It just, as you said last week and have continued to say, it's great to have this on paper. It's great to have these plans. You still have to implement these players coming from all over the place.
I'm starting to feel a lot more confident with those plans will be implemented. And looking at the infrastructure around North America and what's happening in Europe right now, most of the major leagues are back in Europe right now across the continent. I could almost, at this point, really care less what MLB does because everything's coming back, and Major League Baseball is kind of a nuisance for bookmakers, because bettors for baseball. Everybody has a system, Everybody's got a system for betting baseball, You got a system, and because it's the most stats-driven sport. Sport for betting. So what we do now as bookmakers is we let the algorithm trade Major League Baseball. You just turn it on and it moves with the action. But some of the moves are just ridiculous, back and forth. So it's one of the sports where I inject very little opinion into, and I let the robots run it. But it's looking great. Our numbers are up. Clients are up. Everything. It's all Guns N' Roses here.
Yeah, there you go. We're in conversation with Phil Gray. He's the head of trading operations at Sports Interaction. We should tell our listeners right now that Sports Interaction does have live in play for the Charles Schwab Challenge, which officially kicked off on the site at about 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. How was day number one as far as PGA Tour betting is concerned? Obviously, there's a lot of people coming in on the futures and stuff like that, but you can continue to do it throughout the weekend, right to the last putt.
Absolutely. It's like a major. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'm taking as much money on this in the first, I mean, we had it up last week, but in the last 6 or 7 days, I'm taking as much money on this as I would say a British Open.
Wow.
Great to see our boys there, Adam Hadwin and Corey.
Oh, yeah.
With solid rounds, 65 and 66, so right in the mix, which is a testament to the junior golf program in Canada. All those guys came up through that, CN Future Leagues, Brooke Henderson as well, Leah Sharp, and look at how well they're doing on tours right now. It's just great to see for Canadian golf.
Do you think you do well in this tournament? I mean, sometimes you say things.
I'm starting to think, my games come together again this year. So I'm starting to think,
Yeah.
Monday qualifying for the Champions Tour is not a question. I'm gonna get my Winnebago, and
oh yeah, and you'd be great in Winnebago. I bet
You would.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I could see it. You're dressed like you're about to go.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And my tent would always be open too, right?
oh boy, yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, going to the Waffle House and finding dates.
Oh,
Oh, sure, yeah. Going by Denny's. Oh, you and Tiger, high fives. Oh, I can see it now. I mean,
if Steve Rapp can get rid of his sciatica, he's going to come to Rap on the bag, and me knocking him close.
Oh yeah, I don't. Rap on the bag. I don't. How many holes are you going when it gets hot and muggy? I like one.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk UFC. Another fight night card tomorrow, 172. What's some of the things you guys are looking at for that event? Another UFC event.
Yeah, three women fights in the UFC this weekend for sure. It's going to be another big one. Still, I'm not seeing any, it's kind of mirroring like last week. I've seen absolutely no dog action. I mean, Cynthia Calvillo and Jessica Ai, which is the premier fight, that is dead even right now. They're both at -110, and some heavy money coming on that. But absolutely no dog action. Everybody's thinking the faves are going to win. They're loading up on parlays. So, like I always say, if it gets into one of those nights where 5 or 6 or 7 faves hit at the same time, we get crushed. But so far, I've been doing very well on UFC. A couple of upsets here and there really help the books.
Now, I would think too, with some of the big leagues, like some people may or may not quite follow the Bundesliga. They know the bigger teams. I don't know how much action it gets. I would think La Liga gets some, but once Serie A and the Premiership come in next week, I would think you're going to be very busy with soccer. At least I couldn't imagine that not happening.
Yeah, the Coppa Italia is running right now.
Yeah,
and that's taking huge money. Juventus and Inter Milan, big money. The Bundesliga has been very popular, especially our live betting in play. Has been just crazy right now. You can get the draw though, which is a very good price for Italian soccer. Juventus, AC Milan right now paying $280 for Italian soccer because that's all legit Italian soccer, right? There's no money going on there.
There's a great story of, and this is so typical. So down in Serie B, right? So they're in whatever town, Palermo or wherever they were. The local reporter has, probably the old cassette, with the microphone with the cassette thing running. And he's talking about it and everyone leaves. And the local guy's like, yeah, how you doing? He goes, sometimes people say, you fix games. So sometimes you lose on purpose. He goes, oh, down here we do it all the time. Hey, is that running? And so
we'll talk draw, right? Let's talk draw, right? Yeah, come on.
Oh yeah, but these huge clubs. I mean, Liverpool. I mean, one of the most public clubs probably in the world for what you do. So is Juventus. But it all points to, I guess, this opening of what we see, and then the question: once we get this far, I mean, it's humanity, right? Once you've given the inch, now they're looking to take the mile. And I can't help but think that if you're football, that you are starting to look at now. Okay, if we're this far, how many fans could we actually get in the building? And I think, guess what? I got a feeling that's what's coming. Is that formula? Because I saw that already New Orleans is trying to figure out, well, if we have 13% of capacity, I feel that's coming already.
Right, and once you give an inch, the NFL is going to take the mile, aren't they? Right, that's just come out how the Hall of Fame game, very popular preseason game, Thursday, August 6th, Pittsburgh, Dallas, neutral venue. I don't know that they've say exactly where they're going to play it yet, but there's going to be people there. I absolutely believe there's going to be people there right now. Dallas -1.5.
There's the line on the Hall of Fame game. Is that what you? Is it a line on the Hall of Fame game already?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Do it up. Hey, Phil. What else are we missing for the weekend? So we got my NASCAR race. 4 NASCAR races this weekend. 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. PGA Tour, UFC, European soccer. Are we missing anything right now? Or are we kind of caught up?
Across the board, everything, and we'll have live betting on every one of those events. I'm running, in play for European sports. Right now, I'm running 500 plus events every day. I've got 20 table tennis matches going an hour. All the European leagues are back with soccer. That's all going in play on all of that as well. The North American stuff, coming back to in play on that. Tons of props on everything. Futures, pinatas, promos in our casino. It doesn't get any better than Sports Interaction.
No, and it is fabulous, and I've said time and time again, and Dave mentioned off the top, live in play is just so popular, and for certain sports, like for instance, as much as I think it's great for golf, like fantastic for golf, but there's no way, like if I'm looking at this summer hub tournament, which I have no idea, like if someone says they have an idea of what's going to happen, then tell Kreskin I said hi, because I really have no idea what this is going to look like. Therefore, the real gold in this is live in play for every single NHL Summer Hub game. I'm not putting a pre-bet on this. I'm going right to live in play. I think that's where the value is, Phil.
And North America has lagged behind in live betting. That's been very popular in Europe for many years. It's only starting to come to North America, and people are starting to to jump on it. And you will see the evolution of the industry, like I've said before, within the next half decade to a decade. You will see. You're going to be able to go up to your screen, tap your debit card, whatever, press, Jay Lee is going to score next, blah blah, and tap the deposit, withdraw. You will see that within the next decade, guarantee me.
Hey, what NFL hat is that? Is that the Eagles?
Well, Philadelphia, get it, Dave, right?
No, good one.
Wow.
Wow.
Zazing.
Yeah. I'm surprised you don't have a.
You got your grade 12 in Winnipeg, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to see
13 in Winnipeg, or no?
They don't. And some of us don't even do grade 12.
Grade 8 was it? That was the end, right?
Phil, if you do that in a bar, I'll give you $18. If you go up to a girl and she goes, "Why the Philadelphia hat?" Because my name's Phil. If you can, if that works, I'll give you $18.
$18. Oh, you'll do it.
Get it, Phil? Where are you going? Hold on, I've got 2 Mai Tais for us. Where are you going?
She offers me a piece of Black Forest cake. I'd say I'm sweet enough, thanks.
Oh boy, these. Hold on, where's my pen?
That gold?
I really need to write these down. I really.
Hey, are you going to the gym this morning or something, Phil? You got the gun show out there too and everything.
Yeah.
2 tickets. Yeah. 2 tickets to the gun show. That's right. Hey, now here's the other thing I never thought of, because of course Live Nation took a massive hit. All the concert, all the venues, got absolutely crushed.
Getting food as well.
Just is that because I think there was no refunds for those that bought tickets?
Well, no, because they are not giving any refunds, and it's because they don't have it. They had already forwarded all that money to the venues, and the venues spent it, so they have no money to pay anybody back. They kept none of it. I mean, they're talking people who are really into the concert season, spend thousands of dollars.
Yes.
And, they're out that money. They ain't getting it. So there's been a huge class action suit, I guess.
Like for the certain age demographic, I mean, the money that they'd pay to go and see Rod Stewart. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure those tickets each were probably $3,000. And Hall & Oates, same thing. That's that demographic that they're going to go, and you spend $5,000-$10,000 on those tickets. You're not getting them back.
Eagles here, when they were here, I think they wanted like $800 for a floor seat.
Wow.
And you could be in the Eagles. So what's the point?
I could.
Right.
Timothy B. Schmidt. That's right. When I had
there, you go.
Yeah, you can just point to your hat and go see Phil. Adolphia, Phil, Eagles, yeah.
Right?
Bye, Phil.
I've never been called a desperado before. Either.
No, I could. Phil, thanks so much for this week as always. Have yourself a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
You're the best.
You bet, guys. See you next week.
Phil Gray, the legend. Yeah, I'm saying legend now. He does such an awesome job for us. Get it? Phil.
Yeah.
Philadelphia. Wow. Why didn't I think of those when I was younger? I know why. Because I didn't need that. Nobody does. Because it doesn't work.